In today's video, we've got a couple of absolutely protein-packed recipes for you.
We are going to be sharing with you 2 sweet breakfast recipes, and both of them I think you'd be a little bit surprised by actually how much protein is in them.
Let's get on with the first recipe.
The first thing that we're going to add is, of course, our oats, and this is the thing that has the most amount of protein, which might surprise you. You might think it would be our seeds or our nuts, but it's actually our oats. So this is 6.1 grams of plant-based protein, so I'm going to add that straight into the pan. Next, we're going to add in some ground flaxseed and chia seed, and together this is roughly 6 grams of protein. We'll add the exact amount of protein down in the description with the full recipe.
Next to go into the oats is the cinnamon to give everything a subtle sweetness, and along with that is the vanilla extract.
The next thing that we're going to add is some 100% smooth peanut butter. You could also add in some almond butter or another kind of nut butter. We're going for peanut because it's our favourite. And this is another really great source of plant-based protein. We're going to be adding 1 tablespoon, which is roughly 5.5 grams of protein. So we usually like to add our peanut butter on the top as our topping, but adding it into the porridge makes it extra creamy and delicious. And sometimes, you know, when you've added your topping on and you eat the top layer of porridge with your topping, and then you get to the bottom and you've eaten all your toppings. So this way you make sure that your porridge is super tasty all the way through.
Now for the milk, we've gone for soya milk since it's high in protein, just to get every little extra gram of protein available. We've also added in a splash of water to help with the consistency. Give everything a good stir and cook it on a gentle heat. To make the porridge as creamy as possible, cook it low and slow. It will all slowly come together in the pan as the oats and chia seeds absorb the liquids. If you like your porridge a little less thick, you can always add in more of either the soya milk or the water.
For our toppings, we are going with some fresh fruit, and we've got some lovely, very ripe figs that we're using, but you could use any fruit as your topping here. And then we're gonna go and add some extra seeds and nuts just to get that extra little hit of protein. So we're going for some pumpkin seeds, which are just a nice little crunchy texture, and then we've also got some hazelnuts, which we're going to roughly chop. Again, here you could add any of your favorite kind of nuts. A pecan or an almond would work really nice, but we like the taste of hazelnuts, a bit like Nutella.
Once you've cooked your porridge and prepared your topping, all that's left is to plate it up. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is top the porridge with the figs, hazelnut and pumpkin seed. If you have the time in the morning, you could also toast the hazelnuts for extra flavour. Once you've got all that on top, it's time for some golden syrup. We love how thick and sweet golden syrup is, but any sweetener would work well here. Agave syrup, maple syrup, or even just some nice brown sugar.
The porridge is so rich and creamy, and then those seeds and nuts just add a really nice crunchy texture on the top. It's such a simple breakfast, but it really is worth taking the time to elevate your porridge just a little bit, and I don't think you would believe how much plant-based protein is actually in this little bowl of porridge. For our next recipe, we are going to be making a protein-packed French toast, and this is another recipe that you might not expect to have as much protein as it does. And one of the things that we're going to be adding in to add a little bit extra protein is some silken tofu. So there's a few different types of tofu, but the silken tofu is nice and smooth. It's got a lot of water content, so it blends really nicely, and we're going to be using this to make a batter, and it's going to be almost like a vegan custard type batter for our French toast.
To begin the batter, we're adding to a food processor some plain white flour, nutritional yeast and cinnamon. Next up is the caster sugar and of course our silken tofu. For this recipe, we've also chosen to go with soya milk because of its protein content, but any plant-based milk will work well as a sub. Give everything a good whiz to combine.
So that is our batter made, and we're now going to move on to slicing up our bread. We really want to make sure that our bread soaks up all of that delicious batter, so we're going to be using quite thick, chunky slices.
Soak the thick cut bread in the batter. Get it really loaded up on both sides, and then that's going to go into a pan on a medium heat with a bit of melted vegan butter. After a minute or two of cooking, you should be able to gently release the French toast to take a look at how it's doing. You want it to be a little bit crispy and golden brown. Don't waste any of that batter either. If there's any left in the bowl, pour it onto your French toast. Give it a flip and continue to cook on the other side for another 5 minutes.
We're using the brand La Vie. They make pretty good vegan plant-based bacon, especially when you're having it on something like French toast. It works really well and it crisps up very nicely in the pan. So there's about 3.5 grams of plant-based protein per 2 slices, and you get 10 in the pack. So of course it's really up to you how many slices that you want to have, and that will obviously impact how much protein you're getting, but for this recipe we're going to go with 2 slices per person.
All that's left is the simple task of serving up. We like to stack the toast and then add the toppings, starting with the vegan bacon and then moving on to the blueberries. Finally, we're going to add a good helping of golden syrup. Now you can see why we like to stack the toast. The syrup flowing down the sides just looks so satisfying and delicious.
That is so tasty.
Thanks so much for watching this video. We really hope that you enjoyed both of these recipes. Leave us a comment and let us know which one of the two is your favourite.
And if you're looking for more protein-packed breakfasts, then we are going to be doing a second part to this video sharing 2 savoury protein-packed breakfasts. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos.
If you can't wait that long, then we've got a couple of other great videos on breakfasts and lunches and all sorts of things that we will put up here for you to watch next.
We will see you next time.
Bye.